Once there was a small village in the countryside.
Famed for our sheep.
From their carefully tended sheep they produced,
The warmest wool,
and
the most delicious lamb, the finest hogget shank.
And tasty mutton roasts.
from the sheep's milk they even produced their own special casu marzu cheese. And you should seriously Google that.
It's made with live insect larvae.
But anyway, the whole village worked hard to look after the sheep, and especially to keep the wolves, who found their sheep just as delicious, from eating them. When each child in the village was old enough, they were given some sheep to tend to, as had been
the tradition for hundreds of years.
But one young girl, found the idea of looking after boring sheep all day,
Terribly dull.
and without the distractions of modern life to keep her entertained, she was always coming up with ideas to make the long days on the hills with the sheep more interesting. One day, she thought she had what was her greatest idea yet.
Help, help,
She yelled.
help, a wolf.
The villagers heard the distant cries and quickly gathered their pitchforks and other tools to fend off what they thought was a wolf threatening their livelihood. But when they arrived, all they found was the girl laughing at the wondrously successful joke she had played on them. Muttering to themselves, the villagers returned to their work. The girl was so pleased with how well her little trick had worked, the very next day she tried again.
Help, wolf.
She cried.
A real wolf.
The villagers once again raced to her aid, and once again found her rolling around on the ground in great gales of laughter that they had fallen for the same trick. This time, the villagers were furious, and they stormed angrily back to their own work. The girl knew that she would be pushing her luck to try the same trick so soon again, so waited a full week before the boredom overtook her, and she yelled,
Wolf! A nasty wolf!
This time, the villagers were a little hesitant, not wanting to be made a fool of for a third time, but nonetheless diligently raced up to help her, only to find her simply sitting on a rock, shrugging her shoulders with a cheeky smile on her face. The villagers said nothing, but, with loathing in their eyes, turned and slowly walked back to the village. The girl smugly said to herself,
Haha, the look on their faces will keep me entertained for a month.
and returned to daydreaming about the genius trick she had played. But just as she was dozing off, there was a low growl from behind her. She turned with a start to find herself staring directly at a great black wolf, snarling to show his razor-sharp incisors.
Wolf!
She screamed in terror.
I'm not joking, there's a wolf!
She desperately cried. The villagers of course heard her cries, but didn't even look up from their work. Even as her blood-curdling screams echoed across the valley, they simply ignored them, assuming it was nothing more than another trick. And as the wolf tucked into his delicious lunch of lamb and naughty little child, the last thought that passed through the girl's head was,
There's a moral to this story.
No, don't actually touch her, Emma, because that will trigger her, okay?